What's good, Yale, and welcome to this Wukong storyline challenge guide on how to get 250k as easily as possible. The first thing we have to talk about is obviously going to be right here, the Great Sage Saga buffs. So for this one, we won't be using Wukong, which means we just take this one because we have to, take this one because we have to, we take this one because we have to, and then right here with the attack speed, we also get the double vulnerabilities. So we're getting a total of 40% more damage against vulnerable targets. And then right here we get the crit damage, as well as more damage when they land a crit hit. You can ignore the monkey strength 1 and 2 down here, because obviously you are going to be able to get 100% crit rate through gear, which means rather than in the storyline you can take it out. Then we're skipping out on the attack speed, but we're taking the increased damage permanently through ultimate, as well as every time a hero uses their ultimate increases crit damage. And then lastly here we take 15% more damage, 30 more crit damage, as well as 10% more damage. So hard difficulty challenge once per day. Team wise will be pretty much you can run 8 units, because you can only place down 8 units. But we'll be taking 9 just because. Gear wise, obviously it's good gear. To be fair, from what I've seen right here, I don't really think you need that much gear. But the whole gear plan in your mind should be attack over crit damage, because you're getting such a massive amount of crit damage from the buffs already that it just makes sense. So focus more on attack rather than crit damage. Pretty much use your Guild Boss 2 gear, right? The gear you're using in Guild Boss 2, just use it here. Unit wise, we're going with the Nightmare comp, also Salazar, because he's now technically free. So all these units are either epic or craftable, which is the reason why I've picked them. And yeah, obviously the gear is still good. I haven't really focused much on getting a lot of gear here in the last couple of months, but it's still good enough to deal with this challenge. Focus wise here for Hollow, obviously you just want high attack speed, high rage regen, and the rest of the stats are really whatever. Astrid again has some nice, again, focus on attack, Infernal Roar set. And then we have Mary, because Mary just gives permanent vulnerabilities. It kinda does the same thing that Volker does, but hey, Volker is also here to just do a bit more damage. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics for the team. The basics for the strategy. Now, units that are going to be absolutely overpowered are obviously Wukong, right? If you have Wukong, just get yourself this talent right here, where you get 30% rage for adjacent allies when the clones die. So bringing Wukong in overpowered, bringing in Kigiri overpowered, bringing in Lust in overpowered. All of these units are pretty much way too strong anyway. So yeah, it's your Lust, Kigiri, Arrogance, Silas, anything that does high single target damage. Hex, it isn't even a high reduction, right? Like you only have like half for magic or defense. You can even go with Lyra. You can even bring in Lyra, bring in Phineas, bring in Zilla to run an Inferno team. It is pretty much whatever. BP wise, we're also at apparently 1.7 million. The main BP boost obviously comes from the bonuses. So yeah, one unit that I want to point out in particular, it's probably going to be pretty huge, is Constance. The reason why I'm not really going with Dolores is because it's kind of hard to judge how strong how strong the damage is that the boss supposedly does, right? Because it says like, oh, boss does so much damage, be careful. I have no idea how much damage that is, so let's fix up that formation again. Our one range guys obviously come into the front. If you're curious about how to use Wukong, you kind of really want to leave this space open right there. So you place here, here, and Wukong down below there. He can still reach, which opens up this spot for the clone, and if the clone dies, everybody around him kind of gets the rage. So yeah, but we don't have a Wukong, which means we also don't really have to take care of him. So yeah, like I said, you can't even really place the last unit, which means we won't even really place greed. And from here on out, it's pretty much just ult using. You could probably also cycle in a Laurel, but I just don't really see the need. Otherwise, Celestial Requiem, obviously you can counter with the Vortex ultimate, so nobody really dies. Volker also helps everybody, because keep in mind, everybody has increased attack speed, which means they also do more basic attacks. If they do more basic attacks, they get more healing. Overall, we have the permanent vulnerability from Mary, we have the bleed from Salazar, we have the Death Dawn from Astrid, and yeah, that's pretty much already it. We are already at 80,000 points, and this event does seem to be of the easier variety. Nothing where you really need to search out a guide, but yeah, to be fair, you just gotta take the baselines I gave you and just go with it, and you're going to find success. That's pretty much it. So we're already halfway there point wise, without really using any of the like overpowered meta units, you could say. So it does really seem to be more of like a Christmas gift, a event for everyone. So yeah, especially if you have an A5 Wukong or just a high level Kigiri, high level Lust, high level Arrogance, high level Silas, high level Hex, high level Soulcadence, high level Praetus, any of those units are going to be very much in your favor right here. Let's see if we can also break this shield again. Would be kind of sad if we couldn't. Come on. So yeah, that's pretty close, but again, we aren't using like the top tier super crazy units. Yeah, which means this is pretty much kind of like the minimum. And obviously what you can do, or maybe even should do, and what we will do for the next shield whenever that happens, so we did break the 250k, is we're just going to save our ultimates to break the shield. So you kind of saw earlier there that we didn't have like the optimal timing for our ultimates for the shield. So that's what we're gonna do right here. And let's see how far we can get in the shield. Maybe it's even enough to break it. We shall see. So yeah, pretty much breaking this shield right there. The next one is it's just a character difference, right? You see, we missed like 1,000,000 damage or something, but yeah. And yeah, cleverly placed Salazar allowed us to still survive through this. The damage really isn't that crazy, and the main multipliers for numbers are going to be pretty much Wukong here, using Salazar to kind of evade some attacks, waiting it out, getting the time to run down, and then we're finished. So we did manage to make it over 250k. I think even in easy difficulty, everybody should be able to get all the points. This event goes on for 10 days. So yeah, I think you should all be able to get all these sweet rewards. So yeah, this has already been it, and we see each other in the next one. Peace. Alright, now this is interesting. I already thought it was over, but as you can see, when you beat hard difficulty and you get all the rewards, you unlock nightmare difficulty. So we are going to have some fun tomorrow, trying to see if we can hit 300k. We should be able to do it without Wukong, but hey, tomorrow you get a bit more in-depth guide on how to actually beat nightmare, because hard wasn't really that hard.